We continue our series on Tefillah with Vayevarech David. Vayevarech David is a paragraph recited after all of the Halalukas, written by David HaMelech after he collected all of the gold and silver that he needed to construct and put together the Beis Hamikdash. And you would think that a person who is able to wage such a successful fundraising campaign would feel a little bit of haughtiness, a bit of glory that he would take for himself. I was the one who fundraised for the Beis Hamikdash. I amassed all of this gold and silver to serve Hashem. It's all about me. I'm the king. I led it. My name is going to be the one on that plaque in the corner of the building. David HaMelech was the one who led that campaign. But that's not what David does. Instead, David says, L'cha Hashem hagedula, to you, Hashem, is the glory, is the grandeur. Rashi explains that David HaMelech was not taking glory for himself, even though, yes, he was the one who led that campaign. But David understood that it was only because Hashem gave him the wisdom, the know-how of how to inspire, how to cajole people to give, to motivate them to give toward a greater cause than their own self-benefit, to give to something important like the Beis Hamikdash. And so David said, L'cha Hashem hagedula v'hagavura, you gave me the strength, you gave us, all of Klal Yisrael, the strength to vanquish our enemies, so that we have a country, a land for ourselves, that we have a space that we can set aside to invite your Shekhinah, your presence, to dwell in our midst. You allowed us to beat our enemies, so that we would have more material wealth with which to donate to the Beis Hamikdash. V'hagavura, and to your strength, the glory, to vanquish our enemies, v'hanetzach, and you allowed us to be victorious, so that we could use our new bounty toward the construction of your home in the Beis Hamikdash. Last week we finished mesmerized, the entire world was mesmerized by the Olympic Games happening in London. And what do you think of an Olympian who gets up on the medal stand after training for years and years, their muscles bulging, their smiles beaming, and they think, I've done it. The name in the very top of the medal podium with the gold medal around their neck, and they think, it's because of me, all the effort and the determination and the time that I've put in to training for this moment. And yes, it's true. They did put in a tremendous amount of time. They trained for years. Most of them have been training maybe for a decade. But that's not really how they were successful. David understood, L'cha Hashem hagedula. It's only because Hashem willed me to be successful that I was able to wage this successful fundraising campaign. And Medrash quotes HaKadosh Baruch Hu as asking, who preceded me, who deserves more credit than I do? Not in a kind of haughty way that Hashem is speaking, but realistically. Hashem says if a person was merited to put a mezuzah up on their doorframe, they bang it in just when they move into their house, and they say, I built this house, maybe I put up my own mezuzah on this house, I wrote my mezuzah, whatever it is. Hashem says, well, think a moment. Who is the one who allowed you to chop down the tree, to chop into wooden beams, to construct into a house? Who allowed you to build that house? Who grew those trees? Who willed it so that you should be living here and not somewhere else in a different country? It's Hashem. And similarly, if a person is able to merits to bring their son to the bris milah, to a circumcision on the 8th day, a woman says, I carried that child for 9 months in my womb, every day, felt it banging and kicking and moving around, and I was so uncomfortable, and finally I was able to give birth to this child. And Hashem says, wait a second. Who was the one who willed it that you should have this child to bring to the bris milah in the first place? It was Hashem. And so as we begin our day, we think to ourselves, whatever we have on our mind, that we're going to attend whatever meetings we need to attend, we're going to go to work, we're going to spend time doing homework with our children, we're going to spend time building our marriages. But at the end of the day, our hishtadlus, our efforts, only go so far. And we need to acknowledge the fact that it's all up to the Ratzon HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Ratzon Hashem, the will of God Himself. What a humbling thought. As we begin our morning, as we start to conclude the Pesukei de Zimra, realizing that, yes, we put in a great deal of effort. We work very hard, very long hours. But ultimately we need to realize that it's not only about us and our effort, but it's about Hashem and what He wants from us as well. Does He want us to succeed? And what do we do with that sense of success? Do we take pride in ourselves? A little bit, maybe. How many other people could do what we do? we deserve a little bit of credit. But then do we then go back and reflect on the bracha, the blessings that Hashem has given us to reach this point today? Thank you for watching.